Alright guys, like I promised, I'm going to be doing a quick recap of basically just the games I would recommend. I'm going to cut through some of the other clips from the last video I did where I went through every game that came out over the past month. There's a lot of good ones actually, especially at the tail end of March. There were some really fantastic ones. So please do check this out, and please do let us know what you think of the format, and if there's anything we could improve on, let us know in the comments. Later. Death Squared. Okay, so Joey is reviewing this for us. He's told me he loves it so far. I'm really curious to see where he ends up landing on the final review. What I played of it, I enjoyed. I thought it was very humorous. It's a pretty decent puzzle game. It felt a lot better than other similar kind of move the boxes puzzle games, because there have been a couple of those on Xbox. Obviously, this is a little more in-depth than them. Graphically, it's pretty, cool looking. Like I like the artistic style. I love the humor in it. Most of it's just been pretty solid so far. So it's got that kind of Portal-y vibe with, kind of the sarcastic humor and stuff. And I like that so far. So, Death Squared is probably the first of the games this month that I would genuinely say I recommend. This is the Police. I love this game so far. So, This is the Police is really interesting to me because it's something different. And I love when games are different. So, it's a lot of good things going on in this game. I would personally recommend this one. I know $19.99 is a little steep for what it is. I had a lot of fun with it so far, and I'm really looking forward to playing more of it. So I would say so far, this is definitely one that I would say you need to check out. So this is the Police. You play as, kind of a cop who's about to retire. You've got to deal with the different things that are going on. You've got the mayor down your throat. You've got, the public has their own issues. Eventually, the plot goes to some, kind of corrupt places. As you do things, you kind of got to manage your different cops. So you gotta complete an entire workforce. You gotta hire and fire people. It's a management strategy type of game with a little bit of a full-on kind of almost like graphic novel types, not graphic novel, visual novel type story. And it's pretty decent, and it's got a lot of different things going on. I found it pretty engaging. I found a lot of the choices to be thought-provoking. Definitely pretty interesting. So I would definitely personally recommend checking this one out. If you're into that type of stuff, you got to like the kind of management strategy type stuff, as well as look for games that are a little more story driven. But from what I played, I enjoyed it a lot. I really want to go back to this one, and I don't know. I thought it was pretty solid. So, all right, Snake Pass. Highly recommend Snake Pass. Snake Pass is a very fun game. I played it on stream. I beat it in about 4 hours or so. So I beat the game, I think, in about 4 hours. However, obviously I have tons of collectibles I need to go back and get. So it's very much based on kind of like the rare collectathons of the N64 genre or generation. And it's pretty cool. You play as Noodle the Snake, and you've got Doodle the Bird, kind of like Banjo-Kazooie type thing going on there. You only really play as Noodle, though. Doodle can occasionally do something useful, but that's mostly later on in the game. The mechanics are pretty simplistic. You hold R to move. If you slither in an S pattern, you actually move faster. You can use A to lift your head. Left trigger curls tighter so you can get around, various things. Some of these coins and collectibles are actually hidden in some pretty difficult areas. I will say that if you play the game in one sitting like I did, it does start to feel very repetitive. And it does feel like they kind of ran out of ideas by the end of it. Because you start to feel like you're seeing a lot of the same things over and over. I will say, though, it's very solid. Definitely worth checking out. I think it's worth the $19.99 personally. So, I would definitely recommend that one. Thimbleweed Park. I need to play more of this, but what I played so far, I absolutely loved. Honestly, if you like games like Monkey Island or, any of Ron Gilbert's previous work, I think you're going to love this one. It's kind of got a little bit of, wow. I'm blanking on the name of the show now, but it's got some surreal elements to it. What I play, he plays 5 different characters. It's old school point and click adventure game. It's got some cool actual upgrade elements to the UI though. Like, it's got some cool things it's doing, and Nate reviewed this for us. He gave it a must buy, so I'm going to throw this into the recommended just off that. Definitely something worth checking out. It's really cool so far, and I'm looking forward to playing like the entirety of this one. Like, I honestly can't wait to finish this one. Now, Punch Club, $9.99. I have played, I want to say, 20 hours of this game. I find it super addicting. I think it's awesome. There is literally so many nostalgic references in this game that, like, if you have any attachment to, say, the 80s or 90s, you're just going to be pumped full of just funny stuff. So, I think it's really cool. I don't want to go and ruin too many of those kind of special moments in a sense. But the game is kind of a fighting simulation, management, a little bit of Tycoon, a little bit of RPG kind of game. I found it super interesting. Think of something like Stardew, but kind of throw in more of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles vibe to it. And that's kind of what you get. Obviously, it's got kind of a minimalistic look on the graphics compared to some of the other games that release. I found it super fun. It's definitely a lot of management of stats. I'm going to be doing a full review of this one, actually, so I'll have my thoughts a lot more laid out on that. There are some issues with it, but I would say at the moment I would definitely throw this into the recommended category. Like, it's been really solid, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this, and a lot of people probably would have overlooked it. And I would definitely say it's worth checking out. Four-Sided Fantasy. So Four-Sided Fantasy was one that kind of surprised me. I really, really like this game. $9.99. It's a puzzle game. It's got some really cool mechanics. I don't want to ruin them too much, but kind of the gist is, initially at least, that all 4 sides of the screen allow you to just walk off them, and eventually you can end up on the other side. They start doing some really cool stuff with this one as the game progresses. I definitely personally think it's worth checking out. $9.99. It's a really cool puzzle game. If you like kind of basic puzzle platformers, I think you're going to like it. I don't want to call it Limbo-esque because it's not really Limbo-esque. It's kind of like just, puzzle platformer genre. It's a little bit more mechanically intensive than some of those. I would definitely say it's a very fun game. You can complete it in about 2 hours. Actually, I don't know about the completion being 2 hours, but I know you can beat the game in about 2 hours. I think you have to do another 2 runs to be able to actually complete the game. So, and like one of them is going to have to be like a near flawless run. So, sorry about, I mixed up my terms there a little bit. You can't complete it, but you can beat the game. So it's a fun game. I had a lot of fun with it. I think I got like 600 achievement points or gamer score out of it. There's it's gonna be a little hard to get, I think, those last 2 achievements though, because one of them is you have to only do certain amount of button presses and whatnot, and that's gonna be a little difficult. So like, just going through again, I would highly recommend Four-Sided Fantasy, Punch Club. The Inner World just barely misses it for me. Thimbleweed Park, definitely. Snake Pass, definitely. Has Been Heroes and 88 Heroes are both very good, but I would probably not recommend them. This Is the Police I would definitely recommend. And Death Squared as well. Clicker Heroes is fun and all. It's free. Give it a try. But outside of those, the Valley of Victory Adventure Bundle is really cool, but it's mostly cosmetic. So, if you're a Smite fan, you're going to love it. If you're not a Smite fan, you should give it a chance to play some of the Capture the Flag stuff. But you don't really need to buy the bundle for that. So, as far as recommendations, Four-Sided Fantasy, really, really good kind of puzzle platformer. Punch Club, kind of a strategy simulation, with a little bit of tycoon stuff, a little bit of, RPG. Thimbleweed, very, very good point and click. Snake Pass is a very, very good platformer. And then This Is the Police is kind of like Punch Club, but a little bit more toward story and a little bit more toward managing a group and not a individual. So like in Punch Club, you're kind of managing individual stats for yourself. In this one, you're kind of managing like a whole police outfit. And then I would say Death Squared is a very, very good puzzle game. Just much more on the puzzle end. Like this is much more on the platform end. This is kind of in the middle of puzzle and platform. And then this one is much more just puzzle. So I would say these are all very good. Definitely games worth checking out. It was actually a very, very, very good month for ID at Xbox in my opinion. And I would definitely check out a lot of these games. And even if I wasn't super hot on it, like some of these are still worth looking into. You might really like something like Momodora, even though I wasn't super into it. Neurovoider is another decent game. Definitely worth considering. Kitty Powers is actually pretty humorous. I'm sure there's going to be some people who really like Too Dark and Balloons, even though I think they're slightly overpriced. And tabletop racing is just not my genre personally, but I've heard good things about it. So like a lot of these games are pretty solid, definitely worth looking into. I just want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. If you guys have any feedback on the format for this or any comments or suggestions, please do leave them in the comments. If you guys like this video, please do like it and share it. The more people start liking and sharing something, the more I know that people like that content, and I know to do more of it. And that's awesome for us. We really want to do stuff that you guys actually want to, see. So thank you guys again so much for checking out this video. I really do appreciate it. And later.